Well, from a new local bank to a major offshore central bank, and I'm joined now by David Buik from BGC Partners in London. David, the Bank of England meeting today, rates are currently 0.5%. What's the market expecting? Because inflation, there's quite a lot of pressure, isn't there?
Good evening, Ticky. Yes, there's a huge amount of pressure, the swell of support for those people who think it's time for rate increases increasing by the day. But what the Bank of England and its Monetary Policy Committee has to do is to balance the state or the brittle state of the UK economy with obviously inflation, which is staring us in the face thanks to the cost of crude oil and food prices. Personally speaking, I don't think they will alter the rate today. I think that'll be next month by 0.25%. Other people are telling me that, of course, there'll be another quarter in July and one at the end of the year, taking the rate up to about 1.25%. I'm not certain that the UK economy can sustain increases of that nature, unless, of course, we have underestimated growth.
Well, austerity has certainly bitten England today with the government announcement about public sector pensions. What's the reaction in the city?
Well, the reaction in the city, as you would expect, is full marks to Lord John Hutton. Now, this person was very carefully chosen by David Cameron and George Osborne, but he may be a Labour peer, but he's very balanced and he's very highly thought of, and he's been very practical. It's been pointed out at the moment that if we carry on at the rate we are, the government is now, well, the taxpayer is paying $4 billion in terms of contributions to the public sector, which will rise to $10 billion by the end of 2014. We can't afford it.
But, of course, there's a lot of talk about strikes now, isn't there?
Oh, that's going to be there anyway because of the austerity programme. I mean, it's likely that we'll lose 60,000 jobs in the public sector between now and the end of the year, starting perhaps in April. This just exacerbates the problem, but I'm afraid we have to bite the bullet because everybody else in the private sector is going to have to cut its coat according to its cloth and has done so. Full two-thirds salary on retirement is now in dreamland.
All right.
And I'm afraid the public sector has to put up with it themselves.
What about the rest of Europe? I see Moody's saying today that restructuring of Spanish banks could cost twice what the government expects.
Well, the Spanish government is saying 25 billion euros. Those that know a thing or two are saying 50 billion. These cajas are grossly undercapitalised. And, of course, with the state of the property market in Spain, and also with 20% unemployment and youth unemployment between 18 and 25 ticking up at around 42%, it's very difficult to know what they can do. Spain, as you know, had its debt downgraded by Moody's today to AA2.
Yes.
That just is a statement. I think they're going to have huge difficulty servicing their debt without cutting public expenditure or raising taxation. Both are deeply unappetising in the current cycle of Spain's very, very brittle economy.
And finally, another shocker, China. Shock trade deficit came out today. Was that the Chinese New Year being a little bit more indulgent than people expected?
I'm told it's just cyclical, that we're not to worry. China's well on the road to reversing that in the next couple of months, that it was very much down to Chinese New Year. We saw ludicrously disproportionate imports against virtually no exports at all. I'd be amazed if by come April or May that isn't redressed, seeing the Chinese budget in huge surplus again.
David Buik, great to have your company. Thank you.
Thank you so much.